One. Good afternoon and welcome to the Crawdads streaming network for this contest between the Walnut Creek Crawdads and the San Luis Obispo Blues. Limoncelli and Kasey Kazliner live from Sinsheimer Field down in San Luis Obispo. Kasey, the Crawdads 14-7 entering this one. San Luis Obispo 12-11. Pretty crucial matchup as we got a two-game weekend set between both of these squads, vying for the top position in the CCL North.
Yeah, the CCL North is really close right now. Of course, Alameda standing alone at first place. However, they have played less games than the Crawdads have. Crawdads in second place at 14-7 with the second most wins in the CCL North. And then, like you mentioned, the guys they're playing today, the Blues, who are 2.5 back, coming off a huge series win over the Arroyo Seco Saints, a team that, of course, the Crawdads played in a one-off game and pretty much got walloped in that game. So the Crawdads, the point is, it's a huge series to get the momentum back. You're on the road. You're away from your family. It's your first true road series that you were significantly traveling away from the Bay. It's going to be a big one between these two teams.
Absolutely. Crawdads 2-2 in their last 4 games. Lost to Sonoma, beat the Seagulls, then beat the Seagulls again on on Tuesday afternoon. Then they lost in a comeback thriller to the Menlo Park Legends on Wednesday. They had 2 games off, the 3rd and 4th of July. Now we're back here for the 2-game set, as opposed to the Blues, who just swept Arroyo Seco in 3 games after losing by just 1 to the Santa Barbara Foresters, perhaps the best team in the CCL. Either way, on the bump today for the San Luis Obispo Blues, Ryan Featherston, the right-hander from Oregon. Rising junior there, a Bakersfield native, and he'll face John Ewens, leading off for the first time as a Crawdad. Ewens in the midst of a pretty monster season for Walnut Creek, hitting .349 on the year in 17 games, second in the league in runs batted in with 18. The first offering to Ewens, fastball inside, 1-0 to Ewens.
And I feel like him leading off sort of makes sense. A 7-game hitting streak, one of the best hitters on this team, arguably second.
Absolutely, Joey Donnelly, perhaps the only other one. He's batting third. The 1-0, fouled off. 1-1 to Ewens. Big lefty from Baylor. Rising redshirt sophomore there. It's 0-2, excuse me. Featherston from the first base side of the rubber. Kicks and delivers, looking for a put away. Swinging a foul ball on the right side. So count remains 0-2 to Ewens. Lineup for Walnut Creek: Ewens, then Jared Medham, Joey Donnelly, Zach Justice, Ryan Ellis, Cam Taylor, Joe Coupland, Riley Leininger, and Casey Levin-McGee to round it out. The 0-2 to Ewens. First ball of the at-bat. Off speed and away. Defensively for San Luis Obispo, it's Lopez, Murillo, O'Hara, and Ardois. First to third, then Smith, Royal, Hart, left to right. Andrews behind the dish. Here's the 1-2, a fastball well upstairs. Gets away from Andrews behind the plate. 2-2. Ewens, a guy who's relatively disciplined, Casey. 9 walks on the season. So Featherston sets at the belt. The 2-2 to Ewens. Ball 3.
Really good recovery there from Ewens to get out of the 0-2 against a guy, Featherston, who's been flawless this year, 0 ERA in 11 innings.
Featherston with the payoff to Ewens. Swing and a miss. Blows a fastball by him at the knees. 15th strikeout on the season for John Ewens. It's been productive, but perhaps the K's getting to him.
And that's a risky pitch because that's called ball 4 if he doesn't swing. And again, to come back on a 3-2 and avoid the table setter from getting aboard is huge to set the tone in a game like this.
Absolutely. So here's the second hitter for Walnut Creek, Jaron Medham, playing shortstop today. The righty takes one for a strike on the inner third, 0-1. Medham, 13 games played for Walnut Creek, hitting .260. Has been a really good table setter at the top of the order, but in a 3-game hitless streak currently. The 0-1 from Featherston, fouled off down the first base side. Another 0-2 count early on. Featherston, pretty prodigious career so far at Oregon. 2 seasons, a .529 ERA and 37 appearances. He's made a couple of starts there. But as a freshman, he was really something for the Ducks. 3.76 ERA there. He's one of their go-to guys out of the pen. The 0-2 met him. Slider on the outer third, strike 3 called.
And a big statement from Featherston. You mentioned a guy who mostly came out of the bullpen at Oregon throughout his career and moving to the starter job, and a pinnacle year going into his junior year. He looks really good so far.
Absolutely. Looking good early, the righty. He's retired 2 straight Crawdads via the K. And now it's Joey Donnelly, the right fielder for Walnut Creek, perhaps one of the hottest hitters in the CCL. Leads the league in batting average, first in runs batted in. First offering to him, swinging a foul ball back. 0-1 to Donnelly. Kasey Donnelly tends to be a guy who likes to swing early in counts, doesn't like to wait on things. At least that's what he told me in a recent conversation this week.
And you can tell when he swings the bat, he wants the fence.
The 0-1 to Donnelly. Another foul ball. Just gets the end of it there. So Featherston continues a dominant first inning so far against the Crawdad order.
I mean, the fact that Donnelly has 10 walks is really impressive, just knowing his approach.
Yeah, only 7 strikeouts on the year. Broke a 6-game hitting streak this Wednesday. Here's the 0-2. Base hit on the left side through the infield. Joey Donnelly. Nice piece of hitting there on the 2-out single.
Especially with 2 strikes, and he goes the other way. I mean, again, that's what you expect from Donnelly, who now can try to start another hit streak after snapping his 6-game streak last game.
So here comes Zach Justice, the cleanup man for Walnut Creek, former roommate of Featherston at Oregon. Justice spent 2 years there. First offering fouled off, 0-1. Justice just committed to San Diego State a couple days ago after he entered the portal. Only played in 2 games at Oregon, but very familiar with Featherston. The 0-1 to Justice. Fastball called strike. 0-2.
And San Diego State just brought in Kevin Vance, new head coach, and really exciting. We were talking to Justice pregame about those exciting emotions for him.
Featherston 0-2 to Justice. Shallow fly ball into center field, down for a base hit. 2 straight singles for Walnut Creek with 2 down in the top of the first. Brings up Ryan Ellis, the second baseman. Chance to get a run across now.
Yeah, and these aren't terribly hit, or terribly hard hit balls, rather, from the Crawdads. They're just poking what they like. 2 poked balls back to back.
Absolutely, it's definitely different change in approach. Usually Crawdads hitters have been relying on driving balls deep into the outfield. Ellis, the 3rd-year Crawdad, 244 average in 14 games this year. Takes the first pitch for a strike, 0-1. Ellis went 2 for 4 on Wednesday. Had a walk as well. Nice pair of doubles. Flashed the extra base potential a little bit. The 0-1 to Ellis. Fouled off deep into the left field side. Well out of play. Featherston really hasn't pitched too many balls, Casey. Just 1 or 2 this inning. Everything else has either been a foul ball or a strike.
Yeah, it's risky to do against the Crawdads, as we know, but again, it worked against 2 of their best hitters.
Featherston sets at the belt. Quick glance at second. The 0-2 is upstairs. 1-2 to Ellis. Spent 2 years at St. Mary's up in Moraga, California, not too all far from where the Crawdads play. Then transferred to UT Arlington for 2024, where he really shined. 54 games, 298 average. Did not play this spring with some injuries. The 1-2 to Ellis. Chopper foul on the first base side. We'll do it again.
This is one of those fields where extra base knocks could turn into triples easily just because the corners are so rangy.
Absolutely, the corners definitely fan out. 335 to the wall down the left field line. 320 to the right field side. 395 to dead center. Featherston looking into Andrews for the call. Gets it. Here's the 1-2 to Ellis. Swinging a foul ball again on the left side. Still a 1-2 count to Ellis. Last played for Walnut Creek in 2023. Played in 23 games, hit .328. 19 runs batted in, 13 extra bases. Had a grand slam earlier this year against the San Francisco Seagulls. The 1-2. Fastball at the knees, ball 2. I think this might be the first 2-ball count we've seen from Featherston, Casey.
Yeah, he's been pounding the zone. And again, it's just that approach that the Crawdads maybe didn't expect from a starter.
The 2-2 to Ellis. Swinging a high fly ball into center field. Royal under it, taking a couple steps to his right, and he puts the squeeze to it. So Crawdads strand 2 in the top of the first after the first 2 go down on strikes. We'll head to the bottom of the first. San Luis Obispo trying to get on the board right after this. Welcome to the bottom of the first on the Crawdads streaming network. San Luis Obispo Blues due up. Defensively, quick preview for Walnut Creek. John Ewens at first, Ryan Ellis at second, Jared Medham at short, Riley Leininger playing third, Cam Taylor in left, Casey Levin-McGee playing center, Joey Donnelly over in right field, Zach Justice behind the dish. And at the mound for Walnut Creek today, George Zaharias, the right-hander. He's made 4 starts this year for Walnut Creek, 0-1 with a 14.72 ERA in 7 1/3 innings pitched. Casey, he's got high velo, but what do you think the key is for Zaharias facing a pretty dangerous Blues lineup?
I think we've talked about this before, and it's got to be the control. I mean, this is a Blues team that doesn't walk a whole lot. They strike out more than they walk. And I think for Zaharias, knowing that, he wants to pound the zone. And again, this is also a Blues team that is just coming off a really good hitting weekend. So you got to be tactical, but you got to control that velo.
So we'll see how he manages that. EJ Royal, Cade O'Hara, Logan Hart will lead things off for the Blues. Zach Tollerman, Gavin Smith, Sam Ardois, Diego Murillo, Camden Andrews, and Sebastian Lopez round out the rest of the order. Just one left-handed batter, that's Hart, in the Blues lineup today. But first it'll be EJ Royal, playing center field today. 263 hitter in 21 games, takes the first pitch for a strike, 0-1. Royal goes to Utah Tech. Takes the 0-1 inside there, 1-1 from Zaharias. Royal, a graduate student, he's hitting the portal after a couple seasons at Utah Tech. Native of Arroyo Grande, California. Zaharias kicks and delivers the 1-1. Another slider outside, called strike, 1-1, or 1-2, excuse me.
Zaharias liking that off speed so far, a little bit of deception, some tail on that slider.
Yeah, we haven't seen too many fastballs yet. Here's the 1-2. There's a fastball, swing and a miss. Got him on the outer third. It's a nice start for George Zaharias there, Casey.
Yeah, I can't complain. Saw some strikeout stuff in the top of the first from the Blues, and again, Zaharias want to settle in. That's all he has to do, calm down and settle in and know the moment.
Absolutely. So now Zaharias will face the right-hander Cade O'Hara, playing shortstop today. O'Hara hasn't played since June 21st, Casey. He's been dealing with, I believe, a concussion. And in 8 games on the season, O'Hara hitting 103. Just 3 hits in 28 at-bats. Takes the first offering for a strike. 0-1.
Strikeout's been the issue for O'Hara. 11 strikeouts in those 11 games, or excuse me, 8 games.
Just 1 walk as well. You're absolutely right. The 0-1 from Zaharias. Breaking ball just misses inside. 1-1. O'Hara, a junior at Texas, did not play this season. Much like Zaharias, went to Texas but hasn't really played there, as the 1-1 is outside. 2-1 to O'Hara. The 2-1 from Zaharias. O'Hara fouls this one behind him, slightly off to the right. Foul ball nearly hit some fans, but it's 2-2. 1 down in the bottom of the first, excuse me.
A lot of fans here at Sinsheimer Park, just filling in the stands. Good atmosphere.
The 2-2, slow breaking ball, softly hit over to shortstop. Met him, fields it, puts it away. So now it's Logan Hart, the lone lefty in the Blues order, playing right field. Hart, the Cal State Fullerton man, 6'3", 205-pound lefty, hitting .273 in 7 games for the Blues thus far. Debuted June 19th against the Arroyo Seco Saints, and is currently riding a 4-game hit streak. Zaharias winds and fires. Fastball upstairs. 1-0 to Hart. Zaharias, like we mentioned, went to Texas but has not really played there in the portal, as he fires a fastball in for a strike on the 1-0. Count evens 1 apiece. The 6'3", 210-pound Menlo native Zaharias readies from the first base side of the rubber. Kicks and deals the 1-1. Breaking ball chopped over to first base. Ewens fields, he'll take it himself. So the Blues retired 1-2-3 in the bottom of the first, led to the top of the second. See if Walnut Creek can take an early lead right after this. Welcome back to the top of the second on the Crawdads streaming network. Cam Taylor, Joe Coupland, Riley Leininger due up as the pitcher for San Luis Obispo, Ryan Featherston, enters his 2nd inning of work. Allowed the 2 hits to Donnelly and Justice back in the first, but stranded them both. Taylor, the Georgia native in the portal after 3 seasons at 3 different colleges, hitting .222 in 13 games for Walnut Creek this summer. First offering to him. Called strike on the off speed. 0-1. Taylor getting another start in left field. We'll see how he does there, Kasey. He's been a bit troubled defensively, so to speak. The 0-1 from Featherston. Swinging a high fly ball on the left side of the infield. The shortstop, O'Hara, calls for it, and he puts it away.
And again, the Crawdads still trying to barrel a ball. I mean, again, those 2 hits were soft contact, and might be a challenge in a game like this where you have 2 pitchers who kind of dance around the zone.
Joe Coupland steps in, playing designated hitter for Walnut Creek today. Last played Sunday against the Seagulls, was 0 for 5. 200 hitter in 9 games for Walnut Creek this year. First offering fouled off. 0-1 to Coupland, rising sophomore at Chabot College. Coupland also has 4 appearances on the mound for Walnut Creek, 5 1/3 innings pitched. The 0-1 to the designated hitter, chopped on the ground to O'Hara. Shortstop Fields throws in time. So now Featherston finding a bit of a groove here, Kasey. He struck out the first 2 batters he saw, then has allowed 5 straight balls in play. 3 of them have been for outs.
Yeah, and especially for a Blues team that's coming off a big series, they didn't really have the type of off days that the Crawdads had. They're going to want to get a lot of work out of it.
So with 2 down, it's Riley Leininger here in the top of the second. Texas native takes the first offering for a strike, fastball pretty much at the belt. 0-1. Leininger redshirted his freshman season this spring in Oklahoma and entered a transfer portal after he didn't see any action with the Sooners. 0-1 chop to first. Lopez Fields takes it to the bag himself. Crawdads retired 1-2-3. We'll head to the bottom of the second inning. Blues due up right after this. Welcome back to the Crawdads streaming network for the bottom of the second inning. Part of the order due up for the San Luis Obispo Blues. Zach Tollerman, Gavin Smith, Sam Ardois all set to take their first hacks of the day. George Zaharias, the 6'3" righty, still on the bump for Walnut Creek. Retired the top of the order 1-2-3 for San Luis Obispo. 1 strikeout, a line out, and a ground out. So first he'll face the designated hitter, Zach Tollerman, the San Jose State man. Tollerman, a 6'5" righty, native of right here in San Luis Obispo. First offering to him, fastball outside, 1-0.
Must be cool to play for your hometown team because a lot of these guys, of course, know that, college is the highest level they'll reach potentially, and so to play in front of your home fans must be great.
1-0 fastball, call upstairs, 2-0. Yeah, absolutely. Tollerman got to be having fun here, just playing in his hometown, playing some nice baseball, and he's doing really well himself. 375 hitter in 13 games for the Blues. The 2-0 from Zaharias. Fastball down the middle, strike 1. Tollerman riding a 3-game hit streak. 9 runs batted in on the season. He swings and laces one into left field. That one's a base hit at least. Tollerman will round first. Left fielder Taylor gets it all the way in the corner, throws to Medham. Well, that's a leadoff double for Zach Tollerman. Blues with their first hit of the day.
Yeah, that's a big one. We talked about those corners being really deep out and left. Tollerman maybe would have had a triple if he ran harder, but he was kind of just trotting slowly, knowing he could get a double.
So now a runner in scoring position, the first time today for the Blues, and it brings up Gavin Smith, the left fielder. Smith, the Queen Creek, Arizona native, rising sophomore at Harvard. Hitting 218 games for the Blues so far. First offering goes for a strike on the outer third, 0-1. Smith played in 20 games at Harvard this spring. Hit .214, 5 runs batted in there. Zaharias quick check to second. The 0-1 from the stretch, grounded up to middle. Ellis can't get to it from second. Tollerman rounding third. He'll come home as Levitt McGee bobbles it in center field. An RBI single for Gavin Smith, and the Blues strike first.
Timely hitting is going to be a big thing in this game, as we saw there from Gavin Smith, just lining it right up the middle. A good effort from Medham over at short, but again, that's how you start the game off strong.
So now with a man at first, still no one out in the bottom of the second, it's Sam Ardois, the third baseman for San Luis Obispo. A Louisiana native, hitting .295 in 20 games this summer. 3-game hit streak for Ardois. The first pitch to him, ball in the dirt. Justice gets on top of it, but it's 1-0. Ardois heading into another year at Louisiana, University of Louisiana at Lafayette. The 1-0 to him. Fastball runs outside, 2-0. Smith over at first has 1 stolen bag on the season. Takes a hearty lead. Zaharias stares in, sets out the belt with the call. 2-0. Fouled back, 2-1.
Looks like the wind's blowing a little bit out. You know, this could be more of a defensive friendly park, just knowing that the ball doesn't really travel in the CCL, as we've seen. But again, you see that American flag blowing out.
Absolutely. Wind blowing from right to left field. 2-1 upstairs on the fastball from Zaharias. 3 balls and 1 strike to Ardois. Played in every game against the Saints. Had at least 2 hits in each of them. Had 3 in his last game on Thursday. All singles. The 3-1 to Ardois. Swinging a high chopper over to third. Leininger can't handle it. And Smith is going to run over to third. Zaharias covers, gets the tag in time. So on the error, Ardois able to get to second, but the leading runner called out at third.
That's a really big heads-up play from Leininger. I mean, again, he should have made the fielding play when he got it, but to pick it up and know that the guy was going to third is huge.
Absolutely. That's credit to the Crawdads' communication. Sure, either Medham or Ellis was the one screaming out 3-3-3, and a great job from Zaharias, the athlete on the mound, covering the bag. Either way, runner in scoring position, 1 out for Diego Murillo. Another San Luis Obispo native. Takes the first offering outside. 1-0 to Murillo. .298 hitter in 15 games for the Blues. Rising senior at Northeastern Oklahoma. The 1-0 to Murillo. Fastball on the outer third, strike 1.
Another thing with that play, that was probably Medham's ball, and Leininger was trying to get it himself, but it kind of backfired, as we saw.
Zaharias, quick look over at second. The 1-1 slider upstairs. 2-1 to Murillo. Murillo held hitless in the last 2 games against the Saints, but was 2 for 3 on July 1st. Tuesday had 2 singles and a run batted in as Zaharias steps off. Zaharias looks back in. The 2-1 as Ardois dances over at second. This one fouled off back into the right. Count evens 2-2 on Murillo.
Big pitch coming up, just knowing that they've been able to put the ball in play.
The 2-2 to Murillo. Slider upstairs, full count. Zaharias trying to get another out here. Has allowed at least 2 runs in 3 of his 4 starts, Kasey. Hasn't gone more than 2 1/3 thus far for Walnut Creek. Here's the payoff from Zaharias. Fouled off. Fans over the Blues dugout scrambling for it. Somebody wants a souvenir.
A lot of kids here enjoying the holiday after the July 4th celebration yesterday, and they want those foul balls, letting them keep them. They have a foul ball sponsor here in SLO.
Yeah. Sellout crowd today here at Sinsheimer Park. Here's the 3-2. Fastball upstairs. Murillo walked. 2 aboard for Camden Andrews, the catcher for the Blues. Andrews 6 runs batted in on the season, hitting .292 in 8 games. Another guy with a significant hit streak. He's had hits in each of his last 4 games. And has hits in 6 of his 8 total appearances for the Blues. San Francisco State man readies in the right-handed batter's box. First offering to him. Popped up high in the air. Ewens from first base works back into fair territory, and he grabs it. 1 pitch, gets the second out. Blues trying not to strand 2 runners here. They want to drive in some more. Sebastian Lopez, the first baseman, will be the man with that opportunity.
That'll be huge, considering how good the Crawdads bullpen has been this year, and knowing that you could see 4 or 5 pitchers go today. They want to score early, the Blues.
Absolutely. Lopez, the Seattle University man, has made 5 appearances for the Blues this year. No hits in 6 at-bats. Takes one outside the throw to second. Not in time as Ardois took off, stole third.
You don't always see that. The back pick to second, but the runner takes off, knowing he would have been dead anyways, and just couldn't get it over to third in time. Good heads-up play by Ardois.
Absolutely. Should he have tried sliding back to second, he would have been out. But either way, it's 1-0 to Lopez. Zaharias winds and fires, a fastball low. 2 balls and no strikes to the Henderson native. Lopez has walked a run in on the season, or excuse me, has a sacrifice hit. 2 strikeouts, 1 walk, the 2-0. Fastball on the outer third, strike 1. 2-1 to Lopez. Zaharias would love a soft contact here, get out of the inning. Here's the 2-1. Ball in the dirt, Justice has to get back to it, and it allows Murillo to take second. So now it's 3-1 to Lopez. 2 runners in scoring position, Kasey. Zaharias has to be careful not to let this one get too far out of hand.
He does, and I mean, you have the base open, but again, Zaharias wants to keep that pitch count efficient so he can go as long as he can, knowing that he wants to impress scouts at the position he's in.
Menlo Park native fires in the 3-1. Swinging a foul ball back towards us in the press box, and it dies out in the grass stands in front of us. Another lucky fan gets a souvenir, but it's a full count to Lopez, looking for his first hit of the season for San Luis Obispo. Zaharias sets at the belt. The payoff. Another foul ball backwards. Another souvenir. Lopez refuses to quit here. A crucial at-bat, like you mentioned, Kasey, as Brady Wilson, Ray Olivas, Peter Storjahan, Colin Nowacek, Braden Barnes, and Micah Billings all available in the Crawdad bullpen. A bunch of guys with low ERAs. Zaharias shakes off 2 pitch calls from Justice. Finally agrees on this one here. And he'll step off, matter of fact. Zaharias with the 3-2. Breaking ball upstairs, and Zaharias has walked the bases loaded, Kasey.
Ooh, that was a close pitch as well, and a really good take there from Lopez on a close one. And dangerous spot again as the top of the order comes up, the bases loaded. And again, it's all about efficiency right now for Zaharias.
Absolutely. E.J. Royal, the center fielder, up now as the lineup refreshes. Struck out swinging in the first against Zaharias. And he's got a big RBI opportunity with 2 down. First offering, fastball on the outer third, strike 1. Royal, the 5'11", 175-pound right-hander. Spent a couple seasons at Cuesta College before Utah Tech. 9 runs batted in this season for the Blues. The 0-1. Swing a ground ball over to third. Leininger collects, takes his time, and fires a rocket to Ewens for the final out. So Blues strand 3, but they get 1 across to take the lead here in the top of the second. We'll go to the top of the third. Walnut Creek trying to tie the ball game back up. Welcome back to the top of the third here on the Walnut Creek Streaming Network. Crawdads trailing by 1 to the San Luis Obispo Blues. It was the 9-1-2 due-up. Casey Levin McGee, John Ewens, Jared Medham. We'll all see at-bats in this frame. Ryan Featherston, 2 scoreless innings of work so far, Casey. He's looked really good so far. He's retired 3 straight. Levin McGee, the left-handed hitting center fielder for Walnut Creek. .213 batting average in 15 games for the Crawdads. First offering to him, swinging a foul ball. Found off the home plate umpire's legs. 0-1. Levin McGee leads the Crawdads in walks. He's got 18 of them on the year. Guy who's been really disciplined. He's also flashed the hit tool. He's been a little streaky, Casey, but when he makes contact, he can certainly drive it. 4 extra base hits on the season, one of which came in the last game against the Legends this Wednesday. He had an inside the park homer that, should the right fielder not have crashed into the wall and hurt himself, would have at least been a double.
Absolutely. His hitting's got a lot better. And I think he's a guy that's really earned a spot in this order, whether it be in the 9-hole or up at the top.
The 0-1 to Levitt McGee. Breaking ball on the inner third, called strike 2. Levitt McGee, 2 seasons at Laney College. He's heading to Cal State Bakersfield in the fall. Hits in 2 of his last 3 games. Here's the 0-2. Fastball well outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And to have Leininger and Levitt McGee back-to-back in the order is huge for that walk ability, as we've seen at the bottom of the order. And hasn't always been those 2 in the same spot, though. Seen them move around.
Plus with Ewens in the 1 spot, opportunity for him to drive those guys in. Here's the 1-2. Breaking ball well inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Levitt McGee. Hit .326 last season with the Alameda Merchants here in the CCL. First year with Walnut Creek. And he's been pretty good so far. Here's the 2-2. Swinging a high bouncer on the infield. Lopez collects and takes it to the bag. First man retired for Walnut Creek. Lineup turns over. It's John Ewens. struck out swinging to lead off the game. Ewens looking to extend his hit streak to 8 games. Taking his second at-bat of the day. The righty Featherston fires. Breaking ball inside. 1-0 to Ewens. Ewens played 11 games this spring at Baylor. Started 4 of them. As he drives this one in foul territory on the left side. 1-1. Hit 158 and 19 at-bats for the Bears. 3 runs batted in.
He drove himself to the game, didn't go on the team bus, so maybe a little bit fatigued after the long drive.
Potentially so. 4-hour drive from Walnut Creek. The 1-1. Swing and a miss on the high fastball. Featherston gets one by him.
Drives 4 hours, then gets to hit first.
It's definitely a reward. The 1-2 to Ewens. Fouled just out of the glove of Andrews. Ewens stays alive barely. Ewens redshirted as a true freshman in 2024. Dealt with an injury that spring. Reserved a year of eligibility, so we still got 3 more. Featherston with the 1-2 to Ewens. Fastball called strike 3 upstairs at the letters. So Ewens 2 strikeouts on the day. And with 2 down, it's Jared Medham, the shortstop for Walnut Creek, here in the top of the 3rd. Crawdads have not had any base runners since the top of the 1st. Medham struck out looking in the 1st. Trying to right that ship here, the Half Moon Bay native. An everyday guy at St. Mary's. Takes the first offering. Strike 1 on the outer 3rd, 0-1. The 0-1 from Featherston. Swinging a high chopper over to second base. Murillo collects, dishes to first. Crawdads, second straight inning, they've gone down 1-2-3, and Featherston has retired. The last 6 he's faced will head to the bottom of the 3rd. San Luis Obispo trying to extend the 1-0 lead right here on the Crawdads streaming network. Welcome to the bottom of the third on the Walnut Creek streaming network. San Luis Obispo Blues due up, trying to extend the 1-0 lead here on the Walnut Creek Crawdads. New pitcher for Walnut Creek, Brady Wilson, the University of the Pacific commit, played 2 years at Sac City College. Wilson making his first relief appearance on the season, has started 4 games for the Crawdads, 1-1 with a 7.83 ERA and 10 1/3 innings pitched. Wilson's been pretty effective for the Crawdads so far. Face Kate O'Hara, swing and a miss on the first offering to him, 0-1. Kate O'Hara, Logan Hart, Zach Tollerman due up. Wilson trying to keep the Blues bats quiet. Here's the 0-1 to O'Hara. Another swing and a miss. Filthy slider outside.
And as we know with Wilson, he usually pitches on Fridays, but you have the day off. Wants to get his innings in.
Absolutely. Pitching coach Dustin Cheney for Walnut Creek trying to get everybody involved as there are only 4 games this week. Swing and a miss on the 0-2. Brady Wilson gets O'Hara on 3 strikes. Now it's Logan Hart, the right fielder, grounded out to first base in his last at-bat. Hart, the lone lefty in the Blues order today. Wilson trying to get another retirement here. Hart entered today hitting .273 in 7 games for the Blues. First offering from Wilson. Breaking ball misses at the knees, 1-0. Hart, 4-game hit streak. Trying to extend that to 5 here. The 1-0. Fouled back. 1-1. Righty Wilson graduated Rio Americano High School in 2023. Spent 2 seasons at Sac City College. The righty kicks and fires the 1-1. Off speed outside. 2-1. This spring, Wilson, 13 appearances, 11 starts for Sac City College. 4.58 ERA, went 3-4. 2-1, hit sharply over to Metamet, and he puts the glove up, gets the out.
We always rave about how good Medham's defense is, but he continues to amaze us, as we've seen there.
Yeah, he's got cat-like reflexes over there. Just as soon as the ball is in play, he's moving towards wherever it's going. 2 down here in the bottom of the third. Zach Tollerman, the designated hitter, trying to get a late rally started here for the Blues. Got a leadoff double to start off the 2nd inning. First offering to Tollerman. Slider rings up at the inner third, 0-1. Tollerman, 4-game hit streak now, thanks to that double. Here's the 0-1. Breaking ball in the dirt, 1-1. Wilson, after 2 really nice seasons at Sac City College, is going to be a Pacific Tiger, where he's got some Crawdads teammates already. The 1-1 from him. Breaking ball in the zone, 1-2. Wilson prefers to be a batter and play over at third base, but he's got the ability to play 2 ways, so his coaches like to use him that way. As the righty kicks and fires the 1-2, fouled off into the Blues dugout.
Yeah, and he's a guy that has the power when he's hitting, but also can really show that off when he's pitching in his velocity. Just a kind of pinnacle 2-way guy.
The 1-2 again, and Wilson slips on the mound, and this one plunks into Tollerman in the back. So that's the first base runner allowed by Wilson today on a mistake there. Home plate umpire is going to go check on him. Make a quick adjustment to the rubber out there.
And the mound is a little interesting here because it's not totally elevated, and you saw Wilson in frustration kick up a lot of dust. So you wonder if the mound is maybe not super hard to grip with the spikes.
Yeah, potentially grip could be an issue. Either way, 1 aboard with 2 down in the bottom of the third for Gavin Smith. Had that RBI double that scored Tollerman in the bottom of the 2nd. Right-handed left fielder steps in. First offering to him. Ball bounces well away from Justice. Tallerman takes second on the wild pitch. It's now a runner in scoring position once again for Smith. Rising sophomore Harvard, another RBI opportunity for him. Looking to get his 9th on the season. Former Arizona Offensive Player of the Year, 2022 and 23 at Basha High School. The 1-0. Fastball misses the outer third. 2-0 to Smith. Smith, a first-team All-State selection as a junior and a senior. Wilson's 2-0 from the stretch. Swing, foul back. So it's 2-1 to Gavin Smith. Utility guy plays all over the diamond for the Blues. Today playing in left field. Wilson looks to second. The 2-1 offering, breaking ball upstairs and away. 3 balls and 1 strike to Smith.
Brady losing the handle of it a little bit. And you don't want to attack the zone too much. You're up down 1 already. Man on second base. Tough spot to be in for a reliever.
Absolutely. We'll see what he does here. The 3-1. High fly ball into right center field. Donnelly and Levin McGee moving towards it, but it'll be the center fielder McGee who ends up putting it away. So the Blues strand another one here in the bottom of the third. We'll head to the top of the fourth, see if Walnut Creek can cut into the 1-0 deficit right after this. We're back for the top of the fourth on the Crawdads streaming network. Heart of the order for the Crawdads due up. Joey Donnelly, Zach Justice, Ryan Ellis, 3, 4, 5, all taking their second at-bats of the day. The Oregon righty, Ryan Featherston, still on the hill. 3 scoreless innings of work thus far for him. Right fielder Joey Donnelly will lead this one off. And that single back in the first hit of the day for Walnut Creek. One of the best hitters in the CCL. Donnelly looking for his second hit of the day. First offering from Featherston. Fastball below the knees, 1-0. Donnelly entered today hitting .441 in 16 games for the Crawdads after he went 0 for 5 against the Legends on Wednesday. Prior to that, had a 6-game hitting streak. The 1-0. Ball at the knees again, 2-0. Featherston misses with 2 straight fastballs here, Kasey. See what he goes to next.
Donnelly has his eyes wide open, I'm sure.
The 2-0 to the lefty. Breaking ball floats into the strike zone, 2-1. Donnelly, the third-year Crawdad. Spent 4 seasons at Cal Berkeley, but just committed to Fordham University in New York back on Monday. The 2-1 to Donnelly. Swinging a deep drive into left field. Smith going back towards foul territory, and he makes the catch. Eight straight batters retired for Featherston as he continues to cruise through the Crawdad lineup so far.
Yeah, and only 1 strikeout across that stretch. 3 on the day, of course, but Again, it's been that weak contact that we really have been talking about all year. That is sort of the point of success in this league, if you can get that early.
Absolutely. So now Featherston will face his former roommate, Zach Justice, once again. Justice had that single in the first, swings at the first pitch he sees, grounds it on the third base side foul. 0-1. Justice, born in Berkeley, California, lived there up until his sophomore year of high school, where he moved to Bend, Oregon, and became the best catching prospect in Oregon. The 0-1 slider well outside. 1-1.
And I think for him, you know, going to San Diego State sees it as a big opportunity to go to a team that will be joining the Pac-12 eventually.
Justice flashing that new torpedo bat he got a couple days ago. Here's the 1-1. Swinging another base hit on the left side of the infield through the third and short gap. So Zach Justice, 2 singles on the day.
Yeah, against his former college roommate as well. I'm sure they'll be jeering at each other playfully.
Oh, definitely. So now 1 down, 1 on for Ryan Ellis here in the top of the fourth. Crawdads trying to break the goose egg on the board. Ellis flew out to center field to end the first inning. Lefty second baseman readies. Featherston from the stretch. First offering to Ellis. Fastball called strike at the letters. 0-1.
Knowing that the Crawdads are such a big base stealing team, it'd be interesting to see if Justice tries to rattle his former college roommate on the paths.
He's got a decent lead. Here's the 0-1. Slider catches the outer third. 0-2. Ellis has only struck out 3 times this season, Kasey. He's got 12 walks and 11 runs batted in. Trying to do something here, move Justice over at least. Featherston's 0-2 offering. Swinging a high fly ball into right field. Hart ranging back, puts it away. 2 flyouts for Ryan Ellis on the day. And now 2 down, 1 aboard for Cam Taylor, the left fielder for Walnut Creek. Taylor, a guy who's tied for the team lead in home runs, Kasey, with 2. Ties Zach Justice, who's aboard, and John Ewens, all of whom are tied for 3rd in the CCL. 7 runs batted in on the season for Taylor. Would love to get a knock here. First offering from Featherston. Fastball runs inside, 1-0.
Yeah, and only one player has more than one home run in this league. That's Nick Sebastiani on the Stompers, but you know, our Dual on the Blues side has 2 as well.
The 1-0 to Taylor. Breaking ball in there, strike 1. Nice pitch.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a league where you don't see a whole lot of balls leave the yard. It's not that there isn't power, but these parks are just designed a certain way.
Absolutely. Wind a factor at many of them. Here's the 1-1. Off speed and outside. Taylor goes around a little bit, but he holds his bat.
Not to mention the adjustment to wood bats.
You know, all these guys play with metal bats at the college level. The 1-1, runner goes. The throw from Andrews offline. Might have had Justice beat, but it's a stolen bag for the Crawdad catcher.
Yeah, ball went out to the outfield, and it looked like Justice was considering going to 3rd, but he holds up wisely, and now runner in scoring position, the tying runner for the Crawdads.
Absolutely, and a 3-1 count to Taylor. Justice does pick up his first steal of the year. Not a guy who generally is considered to have a bunch of speed, but does a good job there. The 3-1 offering to Taylor. Fastball on the inner third, called strike 2. Taylor thought that was ball 4. He was about to chuck his bat, but instead the count is full. Georgia native struggled at Eastern Kentucky this year. Played in 15 games, hit just 115. 10 hits this year for Walnut Creek in 13 games. Here's the payoff from Featherston. Swing and a miss. No, it's a foul tip, excuse me. Taylor just stays alive.
Yeah, barely. Really out in front of that one. He was going for the fences. Kind of swung out of his shoes a little bit.
He is one to do that. Seen it quite a lot, Kasey. And frankly, everything off of Taylor's bat, if it hits the barrel, it's a missile. He's got a lot of power. Featherston trying to retire the final batter in this frame. Here's the payoff. Ball 4, as that one gets behind Andrews. Justice will take third. Runners on the corners for Joe Coupland, the designated hitter for Walnut Creek. The Crawdads trying to get their first run of the day. Tying run is 90 feet away.
And they know it's not going to come easy, so they'll take what they can get, as Zach Justice got a free 180 feet. And it looks like the infield, I think, a little bit shallow, trying to just get whatever force out is available, whether that be at second or first.
Absolutely. Middle infielders playing back. Corner infielders playing mid-depth. Featherston's first offering to the righty. Coupland swinging a high fly ball on the left field side. This one in foul territory, and it's into the Crawdad bullpen out of play. 0-1 to Coupland, grounded out in his first at-bat in the second inning. Danville native played in 9 games as a hitter for Walnut Creek, hitting .200. 2 of his hits have gone for extra bases, a double and a homer. Featherston, a throwback to first. Taylor slides in. No tag attempt from Lopez. Still 0-1 to Coupland at the dish.
Coupland, the kind of guy who seems like he's just trying to find his role right now on the Crawdads thus far.
Yeah, Clisby and Justice seem to have the catcher role locked down. Coupland fighting for time at designated hitter. Another throwback to first, not in time. Taylor with a bigger lead that time, just able to get in safely. That could have been the final out. Featherston working with runners on the corners. Winds and fires the 0-1 to Coupland. Taylor goes, no throw. Called strike at home plate though. 0-2, 2 runners in scoring position now for the Danville native.
And as we know in this lead, when there's runners on the corners and you're taking off from first, that's basically a free stolen base at that point, knowing what we've seen so far in this league.
Absolutely. Can't really risk a throw to first. Here's the 0-2 to Coupland. Swing and a miss. A nasty slider in the opposite batter's box. Featherston, 4 straight scoreless innings. Just 3 base runners allowed. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th. San Luis Obispo trying to add on right after this. Welcome back to the Crawdad Streaming Network for the bottom of the 4th. New pitcher for Walnut Creek, Max Cohen, the lefty from Monterey Peninsula College, making his 10th appearance on the season. He'll face 6, 7, 8, due up for the Blues. Sam Ardois, the right-handed third baseman leading off, reached on a E5 back in the second inning, also stole a bag. Cohen, 11 strikeouts, 15 innings pitched. First offering to Ardois, fastball upstairs, 1-0. Cohen, no decisions, 6.0 ERA in those 9 appearances. The 1-0 fastball called strike at the belt. 1-1 to Ardois. The 1-1 from Cohen. Breaking ball in the dirt in the opposite batter's box. 2-1. Cohen coming off of 2 straight appearances where he's allowed 2 earned runs on at least 2 hits. 2-1 foul backwards. Count evens, 2-2.
And it was a little surprising because Cohen had such a good start to the year. It's been a little bit more streaky ever since.
Yeah, he had a stretch of 4 outings where he allowed no runs. Now allowed 2 runs in each of his last 2 as the 2-2 pitch is outside on the breaking ball. Full count to Ardois, looking for his first hit of the day. So Wilson ends up going an inning. No hits, no runs. 1 hit by pitch, 1 strikeout. The payoff, swing and a miss. Cohen gets the K. Nice off-speed pitch up and away. 1 down as Ardois is retired. Diego Murillo up. Walked in his lone at-bat in the 2nd inning. Looking for his first hit of the day. And held hitless in his past 2 games, both of which against the Arroyo Seco Saints. First offering from Cohen. Changeup moves outside, but clips the outer third. 0-1. The 0-1 offering from Cohen. Another changeup runs away, but it's fouled off. And a lucky fan catches the souvenir. Nice flashing of the leather. And then he lifts the toddler. That's awesome.
There you go. It's the family atmosphere you have here in SLO.
The 0-2 from Cohen. In the dirt, 1-2. Murillo, the rising senior at Northeastern Oklahoma. Trying to get a 1-out rally going here for the Blues. They're up 1-0 on the Crawdads. Cohen, a rising sophomore at Monterey Peninsula College. Appeared in 14 games this spring there. 6.39 ERA and 25 1/3 innings pitched. Alameda native working from the third base side of the rubber. Here's the 1-2. Swinging a chopper over to third. Leininger collects, fires to first in time. 2 retired in the bottom of the 4th. San Luis Obispo looking for something going here with 2 down. It's Cam Andrews, the catcher, with an opportunity to do so. Andrews' 2nd straight 290 or above hitter in the 7 and 8 hole for San Luis Obispo. Cohen winds and fires. Another chopper to third. Leininger has it. Throws to first in time. Max Cohen sends him down 1-2-3. We'll head to the top of the 5th. Crawdads trying to break the goose egg. We're back for the top of the fifth on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Walnut Creek trying to get on the board for the first time today here in San Luis Obispo. Blues lead by 1. Ryan Featherston has been magnificent so far. 4 scoreless innings, just 3 hits allowed, 4 total base runners. 8-9-1 due up for the Crawdads. Riley Leininger, Casey Levin McGee, and John Ewens. Lefty Leininger will start things off. Righty Featherston's first offering to him. This one a ground ball over to second. Murillo takes a couple steps and throws. 1 pitch, 1 out. Here comes the center fielder for the Crawdads, Casey Levin McGee. Grounded out to first base, his first at-bat in the 3rd inning. Levin McGee had a nice day on Wednesday against the Legends. 2 for 3 with a RBI on the inside the park homer. Had a single as well. Featherston's first offering to Levin McGee. Breaking ball on the outer 3rd, strike 1.
His slider has been sweet today, Featherston. Painting the frame.
Absolutely floats it in there. So much bite on it too. Against the righties, he's gotten a whole lot of swing and misses. The 0-1 to Levin McGee. Fastball inside and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Wind may be dying down just a little bit out in center.
See if that impacts any fly balls. The 1-1 from Featherston. Check swing on a fastball inside. The appeal to 3rd says no. 2-1.
Do you think that inning, last inning where the Crawdads were finally able to get some traffic, is a motivator or deflating since they left both on?
I think it's got to be a motivator, you know. Have to find the rhythm, keep pounding, try to get one across. Here's the 2-1 to Levin McGee. Fastball on the inner 3rd, called strike. Levin McGee held up his bat. He didn't think it was a strike at all. Home plate umpire says indeed it was.
I don't know if I blame him. It was kind of the same location as the last pitch. That was called a ball.
2-2 to the San Francisco native. Featherston kicks and fires, swing and a miss. Gets him on the off-speed stuff. 2 retired here in the top of the 5th. John Ewens up to bat once more as the lineup turns over for the Crawdads.
That's now 5 Ks for Featherston, mostly on the off-speed. And about half and half swinging and looking. So he's been mixing it.
Absolutely, he continues to look dominant here against a potent Crawdad order. John Ewens trying to do some damage here with 2 outs. First offering to the lefty. Breaking ball loops into the strike zone, 0-1. Ewens has hits in 13 of the 17 games he's appeared in. So a magnificent 2-way player in high school. The 0-1 to the Waco native. Sliced the other way into left field, down for a base hit. Smith cuts it off, and he'll throw into second as Ewens rounded it, tried to look for 2, but he couldn't get there. Ewens extends the streak to 8 games now, thanks to that 2-out single, and it brings up Jared Medham with 1 aboard.
Yeah, Ewens, I mean, his ability to go the other way is what makes him such a valuable asset. I'm sure at Baylor they'll surely appreciate that.
Absolutely, a guy who's definitely trying to showcase here in the CCL that he is worthy of playing time in the Big 12. Now Medham, another guy who's 0 for 2 on the day, a strikeout and a ground out, looking for his first hit. First offering to the St. Mary's Gale, in there for a strike at the knees. 0-1. Medham, a rising senior. This spring as a junior, played in 55 games, hit .297 for St. Mary's, 36 runs batted in. Ewens dancing at first, the 0-1 to Medham. Breaking ball inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Medham, a former West Coast Conference all-freshman selection in 2023. Continues to have quite the career at St. Mary's.
Ewens certainly a threat to go, 8 stolen bags on the year.
See if he does here. The 1-1 to Medham. Breaking ball upstairs and away. 2 balls, 1 strike. Medham's already had some nice plays over at short today, Casey. pretty much par for the course with him. I'm trying to get the bat going as well. He's been cold his last 3 games. Featherston throws back to first. Ewins not in time. He gets picked off over at first. So we'll head to the bottom of the 5th. Kasey Kazliner will take things over in terms of play-by-play, and we'll have that action right after this.
Welcome back to San Luis Obispo. Crawdads trail 1-0 to the Blues. It's a new right-hander on the hill for the Crawdads, their 4th pitcher of the afternoon. It's Raymond Olivas, who has a spotless ERA, standing at 0 through 9 innings pitched this season. Last pitching against Sonoma this past week, where he struck out 3 batters in 3 innings. So he'll face the bottom part and the top part of the order, 9-1-2. As Lopez stands in and takes a cold strike around the knees, 0-1. Righty on righty matchup. Lopez walked his first time up. That came against Zaharias back in the 2nd inning. From the windup, the delivery from Olivas on the 0-1 is popped foul to the right side, out of play. Fans vie for the foul ball, 0-2. Olivas, one of a couple Stockton natives on this Crawdads roster, playing at UC Santa Barbara, where a handful of Crawdads have played ball there as well. 0-2 on the righty. He delivers. That one jammed in the infield. Pop fly over to the right side. Ellis gloves it. And there's out number 1. Offense still coming at a premium in this game. Blues with the 1 run that came back in the 2nd inning. They're coming off a big weekend against the Arroyo Seco Saints, where they swept Arroyo Seco. So that'll bring up E.J. Royal, 0 for 2, struck out and grounded out. Another righty in the order. First delivery from Olivas. Grounded softly over to short. Medham takes head high, throws to first in time for out number 2. So 2 quick outs from Raymond Olivas after coming out of the bullpen. And that'll bring up Cade O'Hara, another guy 0 for 2 so far. Line out and struck out.
Yeah, Levis showing good stuff right now, Kasey. Pitching into more weak contact. He's shown the strikeout stuff already with Walnut Creek, so doesn't really have to prove anything there. Just hold the Blues scoreless as long as he can.
Another righty up to the plate. So Hera looks to be a 2-out base runner against Olivas. There's a 0 ERA. Big swing and a miss on the first offering. Outside pitch that he waved at, 0-1. O'Hara previously at Texas, now uncommitted in the portal. Originally from Mater Dei High School, sports powerhouse down in Southern California. The 0-1. Cold strike around the knees, four-seam fastball. Looked at by O'Hara, 0-2. O'Hara, like the starter for today, the Crawdads, George Zaharias, and O'Hara both played at Texas, but didn't actually see any action. Swing and a miss on the 0-2. And the Blues go down 1-2-3 in the fifth. We'll go to the top of the sixth inning. Crawdads trying to add on and tie up the game. Set for the top of the sixth inning here in Sinsheimer Park in San Luis Obispo, California. Crawdads trail 1-0. It'll be Medham, Donnelly, and Justice due up here in the top of the sixth. 2-3-4 for the Crawdads, who, as a group, have 4 hits today, but they've left all base runners they've gotten. Medham 0 for 2. Third time facing Ryan Featherston, who stays on the hill in this righty-righty matchup. Medham trying to get aboard. The first offering to him. In there for a strike around the knees. Changeup called a strike, 0-1. Medham, 12-game on-base streak, has been on base in every game he's had a plate appearance this season for the Crawdads. The 0-1 fouled straight back to the screen. Quick 0-2 on Jared Medham, who has his baby blue batting gloves on. Crawdads trying to gain some ground in the standings just behind the Alameda Merchants. Blues trying to do the same in this very tight CCL North division. 0-2 at the dish to Medham as he digs back in. Featherston winds and fires the 0-2, and it's hit up the middle off the leg of Featherston. Medham's going to run this one out as the ball bobbles over to shortstop, and O'Hara can't make a play. So it's a leadoff single for Jared Medham. And maybe that's the inning starting hit the Crawdads need to get a rally going down 1.
Yeah, and that's exactly what the doctor ordered for Jared Medham, just putting the bat to the ball, letting his natural hit tool do its thing. That was definitely a single, even if Featherston's glove didn't get in the way of the ball.
So that'll bring up Joey Donnelly as Featherston will go to the stretch, trying to get through his 6th inning of work. Donnelly singled off the right-hander back in the first, also flied out in the 4th, so he's 1 for 2. Lefty hitter, righty pitcher. The first offering to Donnelly is hit to the left side, out of play, foul. Past the Crawdads bullpen, 0-1. Donnelly, the statistically best hitter in the CCL right now, highest average, 441 entering today, and the most RBIs with 19. Snapped his 6-game hitting streak last game against Menlo. But is maybe starting a new one as throw over to first by Featherston. Medham dives back in. Jared over at first, certainly a threat to go. 8 stolen bases on the year in 10 tries. 0-1 at the dish to Donnelly. Featherston delivers. Inside fastball, called the ball. 1 ball, 1 strike on the newly committed Fordham player, Joey Donnelly. After spending 4 years at Cal across the Pac-12 and the ACC, now going to the East Coast. He waits on the 1-1 with Medham over at first. Crawdads down 1-0. Another throw over to first. Medham gets back in without a slide. Crawdads have already been picked off in this game. John Ewan's last inning caught dead over at first. So they don't want to be lazy on the pads. They need base runners. 1-1 at the dish to Donnelly. He waits. Fastball outside, taken for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. On the big bopper, Donnelly. 1 home run on the year. 19 RBIs, like we mentioned. Been consistently one of the better hitters in the CCL, not just this year, but really all the years he's played there. Now in his 4th season in the league. The 2-1. Off-speed pitch taken for a strike outside corner. That's that slider again from Featherston. 2-2 on Donnelly. Still nobody away. Medham over at first. Crawdads still scoreless, although they've had more hits than the Blues. The 2-2, swing and a miss. Donnelly went up on the high and tight fastball. And that's now 6 strikeouts for Featherston as he gets Donnelly to go. And now there's 1 out. Really Medham still over at first.
Excuse me, really nice sequencing from Featherston, going with a slider outside that I was actually surprised Donnelly didn't swing at. Looked like it floated a little bit over the outer third and then goes up and in to get the K.
So that brings up Zach Justice. He's 2 for 2. Throw over to first again from Featherston. Nothing doing from Medham. Justice against his former college roommate for the 3rd time today, but he's been successful in the battle so far. 2 for 2, 2 singles and a stolen base. Righty pitcher delivers to the righty. In there for a strike. Fastball outside corner. 0-1 on Justice. We mentioned, along with Featherston, played at Oregon this past season. But Justice playing his first game as a Crawdad as a San Diego Aztec as he fouls one lifted to the right side, out of play. 0-2. Justice joining a new look San Diego State program. New head coach, a lot of new players coming in. Looking for his 3rd hit of the ball game, Justice. Entered today with only a 143 average. Medham over at first, the 0-2, and the runner goes. Pitches high and tight, called a ball, the throw. Not in time. It was a good throw from Andrews, but offline, and Medham able to slide in head first. So the Crawdads have a runner in scoring position for the first time in 2 innings.
Yeah, good send from head coach Brant Cummings over at third base, and Medham does a nice job. Throw probably, was it on, if it was online, might have been in time, but Crawdads doing a nice job there on the paths.
1-2 at the dish to Justice. Medham now over at second. That's his 9th stolen base of the year. 1 away in the inning. The 1-2 is outside, blocked out in front by Andrews in the dirt. 2-2. The Crawdads trailing 1-0. Coming off a loss to the Menlo Park Legends, who edged out the Crawdads by just 1 run before the July 4th holiday. The Crawdads trying to work off the rust here on July 5th. The 2-2. Righty hitter takes just outside, 3-2 on the fastball. Justice, one of 3 righty hitters in the order today for the Crawdads. Ryan Featherston, the starter for the Blues, remaining here in the 6th. Runner at second, 3-2 pitch on its way. The payoff, fouled straight back from Justice. We'll do 3-2 again.
Featherston's really been pitching Justice outside this at-bat. He hasn't gone inside, and I think that's because the previous 2 hits that Justice has had have been on balls in the inner half of the strike zone.
Justice readies up against his former roommate. 2 were talking pregame. The payoff again. Lifted high behind home plate. And Lopez is going to slide and make the catch. We didn't know who caught it because Lopez and Andrews nearly collided, sliding over toward the first base side of foul territory. But just like that, there's 2 away as Zach Justice pops out.
And what an effort from Sebastian Lopez, screaming in all the way from first on a ball that's probably in Andrews' territory. Saves what could have been a run.
So that brings up Ryan Ellis, 0 for 2 today with a couple of flyouts. Lefty hitter trying to drive in Medham from second with 2 away. So he swings at the first pitch he sees, drives it out to right field. Hart racing back slowly. He'll put the glove up and make the catch. So the Crawdads get a man to second, but that's all. They leave another man on. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. Crawdads trail 1-0 to the Blues. Welcome back to Sinsheimer Field here in Slow as the Crawdads trail 1-0, and they put out their 5th pitcher of the game here in the bottom of the 6th inning. It's Peter Storjahan, who posts a very nice 1.08 ERA and 8 1/3 innings of work. He's the 5th pitcher to take over. Each pitcher so far for the Crawdads has 1 strikeout, at least. So Storjahan trying to continue this good affair for the Crawdads as the final warm-up is thrown in. Storjahan, 6'5", 230 pounds. Big 21-year-old out of UC Santa Barbara, but now committed to UC Davis, staying in the UC system. So he'll face 3, 4, 5, starting with Logan Hart for the Blues. And of course, have that one-run lead, but they scored back in the second and haven't had too much since. So that'll bring up Logan Hart, the lefty hitter, the only lefty hitter in the lineup today for the Blues. So he digs in. Storjahan, the righty, towing the third base side of the rubber. First offering hit sharply on the ground over to second. Ellis fields, throws to first in time. And it only takes one pitch for Peter Storjahan to get the first out.
Crawdads pitchers continuing to force weak contact, Kasey. They're doing a really nice job of that. They have strikeout stuff, not really relying on it, which I think is very important this late in the season.
So 1 out in the inning here in the bottom of the 6th. Storjahan trying to, like you said, continue what the Crawdads pitching staff has been able to do in this bullpen game. So it'll bring up Zach Tullerman. What a big double back in the second. Later scored the lone run of the game. First offering to him in there for a strike. Tailing slider. Inner part of the plate, but it's called a strike. 0-1. Tullerman also hit by a pitch. So he's officially 1 for 1 today. The 0-1, another slider, that time outside. 1-1 to Tullerman. Tullerman from San Jose State, originally from Berkeley, California. Likely aware of who the Crawdads were before he made it to this level. The 1-1, swing and a miss. Late on the fastball high in the zone. 1-2 on Tullerman. Career .295 hitter in summer ball, Tullerman. 4 years with the Blues. He's been around this team for a long time. Hitting .375 on the year this season. He waits on the 1-2 from the righty. And Storjahan dishes, strike 3. Slider inside corner. And make that now every single pitcher continuing to dish at least one strikeout for the Crawdads as Storjahan gets his first, and there's 2 away in the bottom of the 6th. So that'll bring up Gavin Smith, who had the RBI single back in the second to drive in the lone run. The righty hitter is 1 for 2. Storjahan trying to make it a 1-2-3 inning. Get the Crawdads back out hitting. First offering to the righty hitter, taken outside, 1-0. Storjahan committed recently to UC Davis. Said he was excited to stay local, moving from Santa Barbara to closer to his hometown. So 1-0, inside slider, called ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Crawdads will be back in action tomorrow at 2 p.m., same place here in SLO. 3-0 count. And it's called a strike. Excuse me, 2-0 is now 2-1. Gavin Smith takes all the way. Pretty tall stance for Gavin Smith in the box. The 2-1, swing and a miss. Whiffed on the outside slider. 2-2. Storjahan originally from De La Salle High School, just like where Joey Donnelly played. The 2-2. Slider is hit high, popped up into shallow left field. It's going to be a shortstop Medham to range back and make the catch, and the side is retired. Make that 10 batters in a row retired by Crawdads pitchers. We'll go to the top of the 7th inning. Blues up 1-0. welcome back to Sinsheimer Park as the Crawdads try to come back down 1-0. It's a new pitcher, the first reliever of the day for the Blues, Riley Marcotte. Rising junior over at the University of Louisiana, posting a 7.15 ERA in 2025 with the slow Blues in 11 1/3 innings pitched. He'll face 6, 7, 8, Cam Taylor, Joe Kuplin, and Riley Leininger as the lefty hitter Taylor digs in against the lefty pitcher. So Featherston with a very solid day, going 6 shutout innings for the Blues with 6 strikeouts. Marcotte trying to continue that here as Taylor digs in. 0 for 1 with a walk and a pop out. Lefty on lefty matchup. The first delivery from the windup in there for a strike. Fastball outer edge. 0 1 on Taylor, who is a former Blue. Not the slow Blues, though. The Atlanta Blues played back in 2024 in the Sun Belt League. The 0 1 hit off the end of the bat over toward third the other way. Ardois picks it up, throws to first in time for out number 1. Crawdads still struggling to string together success at the beginning of innings. So that'll bring up Joe Kuplin with 1 away. Top of the 7th inning, Crawdads still with a goose egg on the scoreboard. Kuplin, righty hitter playing DH today. 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. Now facing Marcotte for the first time. First offering fastball inside, 1-0. Kuplin in and out of the lineup this season for the Crawdads after playing at Chabot College in the spring. Had a very solid season with a .265 average. The 1-0, off speed outside and high. 2-0 on Kuplin, who when he has played this season has been solid. You kind of wonder why sometimes he doesn't get action in games. Just the sheer depth that the Crawdads have in the middle of the order. Waits on the 2-0 from the windup. Marcotte deals. Pitch in there for a strike. Fastball around the knees. As Kuplin thought to maybe go, but he held up. Now 2-1. Marcotte checking in for the sign. Puts the glove up. And now fires. The 2-1 hit hard over to third on the ground. Ardois picks it up with no issue. Throws to first in time. 2 outs, both ground outs over to third. So the final chance in this inning is Riley Leininger, who's 0 for 2 with a pair of ground outs on his day. Talking a lot about ground outs. Just speak to how much the Crawdads have put the ball on the ground. Only had it squeak through a few times. So lefty on lefty matchup with Leininger digging in. Searching for his first hit of the day. First offering from Marcotte. Off-speed pitch outside, 1-0. Leininger out of Oklahoma, currently in the transfer portal. Almost quit baseball in high school. Said it was too hard for him, but his dad got him to rally back, and now he's at the spot he is today. The 1-0, fastball outside, 2-0. Leininger, although he considered quitting the sport altogether, saw so much success in high school. 2-time district MVP in Georgetown, Texas. The 2-0 pitch from Marcotte is grounded softly over to short. Charging is O'Hara. He'll throw to first in time, and the side is retired in order. We'll go to the 7th inning stretch before the Blues come up again. They lead 1-0 here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Welcome back to the Crawdads Streaming Network here in San Luis Obispo. It's a beautiful day. Now ready for the bottom of the 7th inning. New pitcher on the hill for the Crawdads is another lefty, Colin Nowacek. He is the 6th pitcher of the day for Walnut Creek. And the Walnut Creek Crawdads pitching staff today has been very good despite losing right now 1-0. They've retired 10 batters in a row.
Yeah, Casey, they've been really good at both striking out the Blues hitters and inducing weak contact to get easy outs on fly balls and ground outs.
5 combined strikeouts, as the lefty Nowacek is the 2nd lefty to toe the rubber for the Crawdads. He'll face 6, 7, 8, starting with Sam Ardois here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Ardois 0 for 2, reached on an error and struck out. Also has a stolen base. Lefty on righty, as the righty hitter bounces it foul back. 0-1. Nowacek has been very consistent force in the rotation for the Crawdads, normally not out of the bullpen. 2.45 ERA for him. Got the win last time he pitched. The 0-1, fouled over the screen and back. That'll be a souvenir. 0-2. Great crowd today in San Luis Obispo, one day after America's birthday. Crawdads and Blues in a bit of a pitching duel between both sides. The 0-2. And that one jammed over on the ground to second. Ellis bobbles but picks it up, throws to first in time for out number 1. Good recovery from Ellis over at second. And there's one down in the bottom of the 7th inning. So that'll bring up Diego Murillo, the 7-hole hitter, playing second. Righty hitter 0 for 1 with a walk and a ground out. Crawdads now retiring 11 batters in a row. Still trail on the scoreboard. 1-0 here in the bottom of the 7th. The lefty pitcher to the righty hitter Murillo is fouled to the screen. 0-1. Murillo played most recently at Northeastern State in his 4th year of summer ball. Hitting .298 on the season for the Blues. The 0-1. Fastball just off the plate outside. 1-1. Colin Nowacek, like we mentioned, spearheads a very deep rotation and bullpen for the Crawdads. Normally a guy who starts as he shakes off 2 signs, now agrees. The 1-1. Fastball right down the middle in there for a strike. Murillo takes 1-2 on the second baseman in his 2nd season with the Blues. 21 years of age. The 1-2. Half swing, called a ball outside as Nowacek doesn't agree, but it's 2-2 with 1 away. Murillo, one of 8 righty hitters in the lineup today. For slow. The 2-2, breaking ball taken outside and high. Count runs full on Murillo. Native of San Luis Obispo himself, went to slow high. Then went to Cuesta College nearby before finally committing to Northeastern State. The payoff pitch, inside, ball 4. Taken around the knees, as that's the first man aboard in quite some time for slow. So Nowacek will go to the stretch with Cam Andrews set to come up.
Yeah, first base runner since the bottom of the 3rd inning the Crawdads have allowed, Casey. Magnificent run. Now Nowacek going to have to buckle down a little bit. Be careful with these next couple batters.
Really impressive stuff considering we're in the bottom of the 7th with 1 away. And now a man at first. That'll bring up Cam Andrews. Blues lead 1-0. Andrews currently in the portal out of San Francisco State, a program that will unfortunately go under. First offering from Nowacek inside, 1-0. Nowacek's command has been his friend this season. 10 strikeouts to 4 walks entering today. Want to get a ground ball here to possibly roll a pair. As Andrews takes inside again. Fastball 2-0. Andrews from Duarte, California, playing in the catcher spot. Hit .289 with the San Francisco State Gators in 2025. The 2-0. Fastball in there for a strike. Andrews wanted to go, but he takes belt high. Now 2-1 on the catcher. Murillo over at first. The righty hitter Andrews at the dish. Nowacek takes a breath. Now strides and shoots the 2-1. High fly ball out to right field. shallow for Donnelly as he'll get under it and make the catch for out number 2. So after the walk, Nowacek bites back and gets the fly out to right. 2 outs in the inning, as that'll bring up Sebastian Lopez, who's 0 for 1 with a walk. Lopez currently at Seattle University, playing at first base today. Another righty in the lineup. Seattle University is set to join the WCC in just a matter of time. Exciting time for the program. Runner goes. The first offering fouled straight back, 0-1, as Murillo will have to retreat back to first. Lopez has not recorded a hit this year for the Blues, but albeit he's only played in 6 games, including this one. 0-1 at the dish. Murillo still with a big lead over at first. Nowacek checks and throws over to first. Runner back in time. Perfect day here in Slow. A little bit of wind. Plenty of fans with lawn chairs on the grass. Day after July 4th. Another throw over to first as Murillo forced to slide back with a pretty liberal lead, as I do say so myself.
I would agree. Only 12 feet from the bag.
Nowacek keeping his eyes on him. The lefty fires home, and the pitch is called a ball. Justice thought about throwing back to first. Nonetheless, it's a 1-1 count on Lopez. Walked back in the second and popped out to second, his most recent time up. The 1-1 fastball taken outside. 2 balls, 1 strike on the 9-hole hitter Lopez. If he can get aboard, top of the order will come up with E.J. Royal on deck. The 2-1 home from Nowacek. Fastball in the dirt, taken for ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike. Crawdads will return home on Monday against the California Tigers. Make sure to be there at 4 p.m. as the Crawdads play an out-of-league matchup. Another throw over to first from Nowacek. Murillo trying to get it in his head as he slides back in. Blues have won 3 games in a row. All came off the sweep against the Saints, team that walloped the Crawdads earlier in the year. The 3-1 from Nowacek is low. Ball 4 on the fastball. So Lopez is aboard with 2 outs as Murillo trots to second, taking 90 feet. And the lineup will flip over to E.J. Royal, the center fielder. So Royal digs in on the right side. He's grounded out twice and struck out. First time facing Nowacek with 2 men on and 2 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Crawdads trying to limit the damage. They need base runners themselves. Nowacek, the lefty, fires high and inside. Fastball 1-0. Royal, Utah Tech University man, previously from Cuesta College, as multiple Blues played there. The 1-0. Floats in there for a strike. Fastball around the knees. 1-1 from Nowacek. Royal third on the team in hits with 21, but leads the team in walks with 14. He's been a staple at the top of the order for the Blues. The 1-1 hit softly foul to the right side. 1-2 as Royal may be a little late on it. Royal, second year with the Blues, third in summer ball. Trying to get some insurance for the Blues, who cling on to a 1-run lead, and they only have 2 hits so far as well. The 1-2 takes a fastball just off the plate. It was close from Nowacek. It's 2-2. The Blues have not had many hits today, only 2 so far. They've left 4 men on. That one's hit softly over to third. Leininger will take the force at second, and the side is retired. So we'll go to the top of the 8th. Crawdads still with some work to do. They trail 1-0 here on the Crawdads streaming network. Welcome back to the top of the 8th inning. Crawdads still trail 1-0 as Riley Mercant, the left-handed pitcher, still stays on the hill. So face 9-1-2 for the Crawdads, who have 5 hits so far, but no runs on the scoreboard as they trail 1-0. It'll start with Casey Levitt McGee, 0 for 2. Struck out and grounded out. Lefty hitter against the lefty pitcher, Mercant, who's in for his 2nd inning of work as he touches the third base side of the rubber. As Levitt McGee shows bunt on the first offering, but pulls it back, called a strike anyways. 0-1 on the Cal State Bakersfield commit. Levitt McGee has improved a lot these past few games, upping his average to .213 entering today. 4 hits in his last 3 games. The 0-1 is fouled straight back over the screen into the stands. 0-2 on Levitt McGee, who started his first 2 seasons at Laney College. Played for the Alameda Merchants last year in the CCL. Hit .326. The 0-2 from Mercant is jammed up the middle. It's going to go towards short, and no throw, or excuse me, a throw from O'Hara gets him in time. So that's 4 straight batters for the Crawdads retired by way of the ground out. There's one away. So the lineup flips over to John Ewens. 1 for 3, 2 Ks and a single. Was also picked off over at first. Another lefty hitter against the lefty pitcher, Mercant, who delivers. Breaking ball inside, 1-0. Ewens, 2nd most RBIs in the CCL North with 18. He's 5th in batting average. Hitting .349 on the year. The 1-0, and that one plunks him right in the elbow. So the Crawdads finally with a base runner after 5 in a row retired. And Ewens will go to first with a free pass.
Yeah, Ewan's such a tough batter to pitch to, even for left-handers. Tried to run one inside on him and got away from the hands.
So that'll bring up Jared Medham with the Crawdads finally getting a man aboard as Ewens is over at first. 1 away here in the top of the 8th in a 1-0 ball game in favor of the Slow Blues. Medham 1 for 3 as well. Singled, struck out, and grounded out. Ewens with a comfortable lead at first. Medham, the righty hitter, takes outside. 1-0 on the fastball. Mercant trying to lower his ERA. Entering today with a 7.15 mark. Medham, a staple at the top of the order for the Crawdads as well. The 1-0 taken outside. 2-0 on Medham as Mercant goes back to the fastball but can't get it to find the zone. Medham, 5th most RBIs in the CCL North with 13. He's averaging 1 per game at this rate. Infield double play depth. As Medham with his tall stance waits on the 2-0. In there for a strike. 2-1 on the fastball around the knees. Crawdads just trying to string something together. After going down quietly in every inning so far. Left a total of 6 runners on base. Mercant looks in from the stretch, now fires home. Fastball again in there for a strike. Count runs even at 2-2.
Like you mentioned, Casey, Crawdads haven't been able to get 2 consecutive hits since the first. No extra bases either. Got to get something going here, down by 1 late.
Frustrating game to say the least at this point. Now in the later innings. Ewens over at first, the 2-2. Fouled straight back. Pitch that ran inside. Medham just gets a piece. Count stays the same. Medham over at St. Mary's College. Entered the Corvallis Regional with hits in 8 of his last 9 games. He was a late season power force for the Gales. Made it to their first regional in quite some time. The 2-2 taken high on the fastball. 3-2 to Jared Medham, who now has a 13-game on-base streak after singling back in the 6th. He played with the Duluth Huskies of the Northwoods League in 2022 and 2023, and Medham himself, a former Blue, playing here in SLO last season, albeit he only played in 5 games. The payoff pitch. Floated out to right center field. Long run for Royal, but he'll camp under it and make the catch for out number 2 as Ewens trots back to first. Crawdads still not able to find that extra base hit they need to drive in the runners they've gotten to first. So there's 2 away here in the top of the 8th. Ewan still over at first, and that brings up the lefty hitter Joey Donnelly, who singled back in the first inning and has since been retired twice.
Donnelly, perhaps the Crawdads' best chance at getting one of those extra base hits, Kasey, driving a run. Has to be aggressive here early.
Lefty on lefty matchup. Donnelly swings at the first pitch he sees, lines it to left on a rope, but Smith makes the catch. Barely has to move, and that'll retire the side. Crawdads leave 1 on. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning, still trailing 1-0 against the Blues here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Welcome back to Slow, where the Crawdads trail 1-0 here in the bottom of the 8th. New pitcher is the 7th unique pitcher for the Crawdads, Braden Barnes, as they go to their 3rd lefty. Barnes, one of the better pitchers in the league. ERA doesn't necessarily suggest that, 4.61, but he has 27 strikeouts in just 13 2/3 innings of work. That leads the CCL North and the Crawdads.
He's got such a live fastball, Kasey. Even though it parks in about the 90 to 92 mile an hour range, it has a whole lot of movement. It's tough for these hitters to get to. Features a nice slider to pair with it. He's just dynamite.
Definitely a big late game arm for the Crawdads as he'll face O'Hara, Hart, and Tollerman, 2, 3, 4 here in the bottom of the 8th, as the Blues vying for some insurance. They've led 1-0 for nearly this entire game. They scored that 1 run back in the 2nd. As O'Hara digs in, he's been a strikeout victim twice. Also lined out to short. Lefty pitcher, righty hitter. Swing and a miss on the first offering from Barnes, 0-1. Barnes recently committed to New Mexico State after spending time at Arizona State. Not too far from each other. The lefty pitcher dishes a ball outside, 1-1. Barnes 6'2", 195 pounds, 4.61 ERA. Coming off an outing on July 1st where he gave up 2 earned runs in just 1 inning against the Seagulls. The 0-1, swing and a miss. Got him to go on the fastball around the knees. 1-2 on O'Hara. Trying to avoid the hat trick. Barnes stares in on the sign from Justice. Here's the 1-2. Strike 3 called. Fastball around the knees, and there's one for Barnes. And the 6th strikeout of the day for Crawdads pitchers. So O'Hara wears the hat trick as he struck out 3 times. So that'll bring up Logan Hart. He's also hitless today. Ground out, line out, and another ground out, out of Cal State Fullerton. It'll be a lefty on lefty matchup. Hart, the only lefty in the order today for the Blues. Hitting .273 on the year. First offering taken outside, 1-0. Barnes, really good late game arm, a guy you almost never see early in games. This is a big inning for him. The 1-0, half swing, got him to go. Strike around the knees, 1-1.
Brief update, Casey. With that last strikeout, Barnes does now lead the entire CCL in strikeouts, 28.
It's an impressive feat from him as the 1-1 is lined to shallow left field, down for a base hit in front of Taylor. As Hart got it off the end of the bat, went the other way, and it's a 1-out base runner for the Slow Blues. Their first hit since the second inning and just their third of the day.
Yeah, that's just really nice contact working against a really tough pitcher. Lefty on lefty, Hart just takes it the other way off the end of the barrel. That's good.
So Barnes will pitch from the stretch now, going up against Zach Tollerman, the DH. A double, a hit by pitch, and a strikeout on his line. As Barnes throws over to first to check on Hart, but he slides back in. Tollerman, the best hitter for the Blues this season. 2 home runs, 1 triple, 2 doubles on top of a .375 average. Does not walk a whole ton as Barnes throws over to first again, that time a little bit closer, but Hart back in safely. 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th in a offense at a premium type of game. 1-0 Blues. The first pitch to Tollerman in there for a strike. Fastball around the knees taken, 0-1. Tollerman, 22 years of age, over at San Jose State. Started his collegiate career at least at the D1 level at UC Riverside. Came over from the JUCO ranks before that. The 0-1 as Barnes dishes a ball outside. 1-1 with a fastball running upstairs and away. Tollerman at San Jose State in 2025. .261 hitter, 4 home runs, has the power. Big lead over at first for Murillo, the 1-1. And he checks the peel over to first, said he didn't go. 2-1. Pitch that ran a little bit inside. Tollerman's type of guy that the Blues could maybe retire his number type of guy. 4 years in the ranks with the Blues as the 2-1 runs high. 3-1. Braden Barnes committing over to New Mexico State after not seeing much time at Arizona State. The 3-1 home. It's another fastball, but it's fouled straight back. For strike 2, count runs full with a man over at first. Could see Hart on the move here. Barnes trying to increase his strikeout total, now at 28 on the year. As he stares in on the sign, the payoff pitch. And it just gets off the bat of Tollerman as he half swings and it goes foul to the right side. Count stays full. Tollerman lives up to his name. He's 6'5". Certainly the taller man on the field right now. The payoff pitch. And it's jammed softly to left field, down for a base hit as it just loops in. And Tollerman has his second base hit of the day. Hart advances to second. Now it's first and second with 1 out, with Gavin Smith due up. So Hicksonbaugh will pinch run for Zach Tollerman over at first, who doesn't have a whole lot of speed. As the Blues are showing that they need runs. They're up 1-0, but a 1-run lead means absolutely nothing in the CCL. So Jake Hicksonbaugh pinch running over at first as Barnes will try to settle in a little bit further with 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. So Tollerman is done for the day. He had 2 base hits. Was a big force, scoring the only run of the game back in the second. So that'll bring up Gavin Smith, the righty hitter. Crawdad infield, double play depth. First offering to the righty hitter is hit out to deep right center. Levitt McGee ranges back and makes the catch. But the runner at second tagging as Hart will get into third safely. There'll be runners on the corners with 2 out.
It's a good defensive play for Levitt McGee. He's facing into the sun, really looking over towards that right field side. Does a nice job tracking it down. It's definitely not a routine play.
We've seen a lot of ranging plays. Crawdads outfield's done a pretty good job today. So that'll bring up Sam Ardois. He's 0 for 3, reached on an error, struck out, and grounded out. Crawdads infield back to straight away with 2 outs, runners on the corners here in this 1-0 ball game in the bottom of the 8th. Barnes throws over to first to check on Hicksonbaugh, but he's back safely. Ardois, righty hitter against the lefty Barnes, trying to get his guys back hitting again. Crawdads being threatened to get shut out here in slow. First offering, swing and a miss. Ardois goes after the outside fastball, 0-1. Ardois in his second year with the Blues. Played 4 games at Texas in 2024. And then spent 2025 at Louisiana Lafayette, where he played 38 games. The 0-1 is lined softly over to second base. Ellis puts the glove up on the run and makes the catch. So 2 left on. We'll go to the top of the 9th. Last chance for the Crawdads as they try to come back in this game, down 1-0 here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Last chance for the Crawdads. They trail 1-0 here in the top of the 9th inning as the Blues try to get out of this game only using 2 pitchers as Riley Marcotte stays in the game. Crawdads will send up 4, 5, 6 with likely some changes as Zach Justice will come up. He's 2 for 3, 2 singles and a pop out. Righty hitter, lefty pitcher as Marcotte winds and delivers. Fastball taken high, 1-0. Ryan Ellis on deck. The 1-0 as Marcotte looks in for the sign. Swing and a miss. Justice went at the high fastball. Count goes even at 1-1. Justice had 2 hits, both off of his former college roommate, Ryan Featherston, but nothing off of Marcotte, who's done a nice job. The 1-1 pitch. In there for a strike, fastball around the knees, 1-2 on Justice. He's gotten a lot of catcher reps lately for the Crawdads ever since he joined the roster, somewhat late. Recently committed to San Diego State out of Oregon. The 1-2 from Marcotte is hit sharply on the ground over to first. Lopez picks it up. He'll tag the bag. And there's one away here in the top of the 9th. So Crawdads only with 2 outs to work with, as that'll bring up Ryan Ellis. He's 0 for 3 with 3 flyouts this game. 2 to right, 1 to center as the lefty hitter digs in against the lefty. Crawdads with 5 hits today, but no runs to show for it, as the first pitch is jammed foul to the left side. A half swing from Ellis that hit close to his hands, 0-1. Teams will be back in action tomorrow at 2 p.m. here at Sinsheimer Field. And the Crawdads will return home for an exhibition game against the Tigers. Marcotte from the windup. He delivers a fastball outside, 1-1 as Ellis takes. Ellis trying to get his first hit of the day after some lazy fly balls. The 1-1 chopped high over to first. Lopez will pick it up, and that's 2 ground outs unassisted over at first for Lopez, and there's 2 away. Make that 10 ground outs for the Crawdads today as Cam Taylor will dig in. He represents the last chance for the Crawdads as they need him to get on base. 2 out in the inning, top of the 9th. Marcotte against Taylor, both lefties. Marcotte with his slow windup delivers. Chopped foul off the ground and bouncing over toward first, 0-1. Taylor in the transfer portal out of Eastern Kentucky, a team that really struggled last year, going 11-44. Blues trying to win their 4th game in a row after sweeping the Saints. Crawdads trying to get back in the win column, but they have 1 chance left. The 0-1 in there for a strike, breaking ball right in the zone. And the Blues are 1 strike away from making it 4 wins in a row. Taylor digs back in after taking a breath. Marcotte puts the glove up, now winds and fires the 0-2. Swing and a miss. That's the ball game as Cam Taylor strikes out. And what a performance for the Blues on the pitching side, winning 1-0 over the Crawdads and taking their first win over Walnut Creek this season. Crawdads with no runs on 5 hits, and Slow getting just 1 run on 4 hits. A lot of runners left on base in this game. Charlie, what were your observations from the 1-0 loss for Walnut Creek?
I think, Casey, both teams had some really magnificent pitching today. Walnut Creek in a big bullpen game, everybody delivered. Only a couple of base runners allowed, but the Blues were able to get it done against George Zaharias, and then the Crawdads' bats just went cold. Credit to both pitching staffs for really throwing their lights out, inducing a whole lot of soft contact. There were a good number of strikeouts as well. Really, if you're a pitching fan or a pitching coach, this was something you probably salivated over. Perhaps we'll get some more action with the bats tomorrow, Casey. Both teams going to go rest, recuperate, and come back at it again.
Go Blues go as the Blues win and win their 4th game in a row. They're riding high, trying to gain ground in the CCL North. Crawdads make that 2 losses in a row after losing to Menlo Park this past week. But the best part about this is there's a game tomorrow. Crawdads will try to get back in the win column, get off the schneid after the offense is dried up quite a bit. Blues and Crawdads will be back in action at 2 p.m. tomorrow, same place, Sinsheimer Park, as the Crawdads look to right the ship. For everyone at the Crawdads Streaming Network, we thank you. Kasey Kazliner, Charlie Limoncelli on the call. We'll see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. as the Crawdads look to right the ship here on the Crawdads Streaming Network.